Chris, welcome to breakfast.
Thank you.
What a romp this film is. It's got whales, it's got action. When you first heard about the project, what did you think?
When I first read the script, I was just blown away by exactly what you said, you know. That it encompassed a whole lot of adventure, adrenaline-driven scenes and so on, but it was a drama at the heart of it, you know, and about this horrific circumstances these men endured, you know, their fight for survival, why some chose to give up or why some chose to survive and so on. But I didn't know it was based on a true story.
There'll be a lot of people who don't know the storyline and this idea, the sort of mythology that built up around a giant whale and a group of men on board a whaling ship.
The true events that inspired that and what these men went through, I think was horrific, but also inspiring in a lot of ways.
And the best thing for both of us would be to work all hours God sends us. Fill the ship with oil and be home inside a year and rid of one another as quickly as possible. Trust me, I am every bit as desirous of that as you.
Now, you mentioned what the real men went through.
Yep.
If I hold up that particular image there, it'll give people a sense of what you went through as an actor. Do you want to just talk us through what we're looking at there?
So that's probably midway through the shoot, I think. These men survived for 90 days, I think, drifting on the ocean. And so in order to do it any justice, we had to kind of somewhat go there ourselves. And so we started off on one diet and regular, you know, well-fed, and then each week dwindled down, you know, to about 500 or 600 calories by the end of the shoot, and led to a pretty moody existence. But as I said, essential to play these characters, and there wasn't a whole lot of acting required because we were desperate and emotional and and hungry. So,
but I mean, people will be more familiar with you beefing up, if you like, for some of the, you know, your most famous roles.
Yeah, I'd rather put on the weight. It was a lot more enjoyable. This was not fun. I've read a few scripts lately, and there's mention of weight loss, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that again. I feel like I've ticked that box, and once is enough. Yeah.
So the look we can see there with the hair and the beard and whatever, was that quite a big deal to, you know, in makeup and whatever, to get that look?
Yeah, it was. It was a good hour and a half every morning. In you know, hair and makeup, and I got them to just set me up like a massage bed so I could just sleep while they did it, because by the time we were at that stage we were just so exhausted, and even throughout the day you'd Ron would call cut and we'd all just lie down in the boats and then, you know, wait to be told to stand back up again.
Now the whaling industry, it's, you know, it's still a big controversial topic now, isn't it? Because just recently the Japanese have said they're going to be whaling again. Yeah,
look, whaling in this day and age, I think is, you know, like a lot of people, completely unnecessary and don't understand it. In this period of time, it was what drove the Industrial Revolution and what fueled the economy. It was the industry, you know, and for these men, there was no other option. You know, in order to put food on the table, they had to go out and part ways with their family for 2 years, 3 years sometimes, and it was incredibly dangerous and hard work. There wasn't, you know, a whole lot of sort of skipping off the sea. I mean, there was an adventure element to it, but it was pretty brutal circumstances.
Got a theory about Australian actors who do very well. I'm thinking of Russell Crowe. I'm thinking of Hugh Jackman.
Sure.
Now you're on the list. They're all kind of big fellas, feet on the ground. Do you think there's something about the Australian psyche that means you sort of don't get lost in the business you're in?
Yeah, I think so. I remember getting asked that a lot when I went to the States, and I think it's partly it being such a distance to get there and such a commitment to go from Australia to LA. It's not like you just kind of get the bus down there, you know. So I think there is a bigger sense of, well, I better make the most of this journey and this opportunity, and better be serious about it if I'm going to commit and do it.
You don't live in Hollywood now.
Yeah.
Go
sure.
back to live in Australia.
Yeah.
And is that to do with kind of just saying, do you know what, I don't need that. I don't need all that nonsense that surrounds it.
Yeah, I think, I wouldn't say I was sort of getting swept up in it, but you can't help but kind of lose perspective on things and think that is the norm and that's the world. Like Hollywood and that environment is another planet. You know, it's everywhere you go, you're reminded of kind of films you're either in or films you weren't in, or the industry, and everyone's talking about it. You have the same conversations, and it just becomes a little suffocating. And I just wanted to also for my kids, but just sort of distance myself from it. And when I came home from work, wasn't still surrounded by work, you know.
And does that mean that come Christmas time, when you're back home in Australia, you can you chill and people don't bother you, and you I don't know, go to the beach and just...
Yeah, we can actually. And we'd been traveling a lot for a few years, and we're settling in LA, and I just felt I couldn't switch off, and then thought, well, maybe this is just the norm now everywhere. But honestly, I've got to say, we found a spot back in Australia, which, you know, people might go, oh yeah, in a movie, cool. And on with the day they go, and we do. We get around quite normally and surf and hang out at the shops and so on, and it's great. There's no paparazzi and like there is in LA, which is nice.
And is it Christmas on the beach? Is that what it is?
Pretty much, yeah. We're kind of on the beach where we live, and I think we'll definitely spend a great amount of time there.
Enjoy your Christmas. Lovely to see you here.
You too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.